Streaming from Oklahoma's own digital studio, this is OU Football Update with Jeremy Poplin.
Let's face it, the only real reason why I'm here is because my name's on the open. You don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from the voice of the Sooners, and let him take it away now.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Sooner Football Reacts. Toby Rowland with you alongside Chris Williams, C. Willie. You know all the names.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Okay. Sorry about that, Toby. It happens everywhere I go.
Sound effects. We have sound effects now. I know there's not a live studio audience, so, oh boy.
I'll ask him to keep down the rest of the way.
We're going to have this for you every Monday throughout the season, reacting to Saturday's Oklahoma Sooner football game. And the opener is in the books. Sooners beat Illinois State 35-3 on Saturday night in Norman. So we got a lot to talk about. It is Michigan week as well. One of the most anticipated games in Norman in a long, long time is on deck next. So we'll start to look ahead toward that as well, and we'll have more previews for you as the week rolls along. But, Chris, let's start. Let's break this down a little bit. Let's go offense first. What are your takeaways from 35-3 on Saturday night?
Well, I'll tell you what. You go 3 and out your first 2 possessions, and I think everybody in the stadium was holding their breath like, not this again. When they were good, when they were in rhythm, I thought the offense looked everything you could ask for from an offense. They took what was given to them. They were able to find the holes in the defense, spread the ball around, 9 different people catching passes. So obviously you want to be in rhythm as often as possible. When they were in it, it was great. It did take a little time to settle in.
John Mateer obviously is the headliner. He was fantastic. He got off to a little bit of a slow start, but 81% completion percentage on the night, 30 of 37. He sets the all-time record for passing yards in an opener, breaking Baker Mayfield's mark. I thought he looked in control all night long. Boy, he has some zip on his passes, too. And I come out very impressed. I think we all went into the game thinking John Mateer was pretty good, but eager to see whether or not he could live up to the hype. It's Illinois State. You've got to say that about everything, but
yes.
I thought Mateer lived up to the billing on opening night.
What I liked about what I saw from Mateer especially was that it really, we've been hearing about how important it is and saying how important it is that he and Arbuckle came together. You could just see it out there that he is like another coach on the field. Those two are so in sync. They know exactly what the game plan is and they attack it together. And that is, that usually can take a full season, but these guys have had a few seasons together. So that was fantastic to see that they are already in sync.
I would say it's a relief. It's just joy and passion. It's freaking football. Like I didn't come here for the media and so that we could I could get the hype. I came here to play football at a high level and to do that, and that was awesome. Not because of the reaction it's going to get out of anybody.
I just don't know how this guy doesn't get you fired up every time you hear him talk. He's in the postgame room saying, it's just freaking football, man, getting amped up for this matchup with Michigan. He's got that edge to him, Toby.
The Baker Mayfield comparisons are going to be hard to avoid all year long. Hopefully he continues to play like Baker all year long. One other positive on offense, and then we'll talk about what could be a little bit concerning. The wide receivers, Keontez Lewis, 9 catches, 119 yards. That's more yards than any wide receiver had all of last season in a game for OU. Deion Burks was back and healthy and had some burst to him. And Jaren Kanak, I think there was a lot of questions about, how good could this guy really be? He was a linebacker 5 minutes ago. And he fumbled, but he had, 7 catches for 90 yards? I think that's close if that's not exactly right. I thought he showed that he could be a real weapon as well. So the receiving group, the pass catchers, I thought looked really good. Certainly a lot better than a year ago, Chris.
Yeah, well, Kanak, most reception yards by a tight end since Braden Willis in 2022. So what does that tell you? He looks good. What a great athlete he is out there on the field. He is still going to have some growing pains, and I wasn't able yet to go back and see how he was in the blocking game, but he plays physical, great athlete, great attitude, and I agree. I think people were like, Jaren Kanak's tight end 1, and now it's like, okay, if this is base Jaren Kanak and it's only going to get better, then that tight end position can actually be a big factor in the offense this season.
Satisfy your sweet tooth with a Brahms Old-Fashioned Banana Split. Crafted with a delicious banana, split down the middle and filled with not 1, but 3 scoops of Brahms premium ice cream flavors. To complete this masterpiece, all your favorite toppings are poured on each scoop to bring it all together in a perfect harmony of flavor. Treat yourself to an old-fashioned banana split at Brahms, where every spoonful leaves you wanting more.
All right, the concerning thing, and probably the most concerning thing on the team coming out of the game, is the lack of a running game. They couldn't push Illinois State around on the offensive line, really never got the running game going all night long. We saw some, a little bit from Tory Blaylock before he got hurt that was promising, but Javante Barnes was ineffective and just didn't look as dominant on the offensive line as you would hope against an FCS team. Now, they're dealing with some injuries there. They didn't have all their starters. Michael Fasusi didn't play. I think he will against Michigan. Derek Simmons, the right tackle, didn't play. I think he will against Michigan. Jacob Sexton left the game with some sort of a leg injury. Didn't look to be serious. But Oklahoma couldn't run the ball very good last year, and I get it if fans are concerned about this year after seeing that in the opener.
I think you're right to have some concern there, but for me, I'm not going all out, they're not going to be able to run the ball at all this season. And the reason, Toby, is because I feel like so much of this offense is based around taking what the defense gives you. And that's what we saw from Arbuckle all game. If they're going to take away the run, or if they're going to run a certain defense, then you run what works. And so the linebackers were freezing. They weren't dropping very quickly in coverage. They were staying in the box. And so you saw Oklahoma just attacking the middle of the field time and time again, because Mateer and the offense were just freezing those linebackers and throwing the ball behind them. Now, against any other, if this happened against Michigan, then that would be the full answer, full stop. But you're right. You're playing an FCS opponent. You would like to see the offensive line be able to impose its will on any given play and run for, 5 yards a pop regardless. So, yes, it is a cause of concern. That's an area to watch going forward, but I'm not sitting here going, they're not going to have a run game all season, forget it.
Yeah. Worth keeping an eye on. It is still curious as to what's going on with Jaden Ott.
Yes.
I don't know the whole story there. Obviously, he was battling something in fall camp. He didn't play much. He did, though, get in the game in the fourth quarter. And you would think if they were trying to protect him from an injury, that wouldn't have happened.
That's the strangest part of it all.
He wasn't very good when he did come in. So I don't know. That's worth keeping an eye on. But, there was a lot of hope put on his shoulders when he transferred here. And right now it's just a little bit curious as to what's going on there. We'll keep an eye on that. Okay, let's go to the other side. Defensively, they look like they did a year ago, smothering in the run game. They never let Illinois State get anything going in the pass game. They looked like you should look defensively, I thought, against an FCS team. Knocked their quarterback out. I hope he's okay. Tommy Rittenhouse, the Redbirds are in trouble this year if he's not okay, but we'll see there. But I thought defensively they were impressive.
And it was regardless of who was in the game. I mean, they were rotating in full different sets of DBs by possession, linebackers. We saw the 2 deep, 3 deep across every position. Quality minutes early in the game as well, and there was no drop-off. Toby, I've been on him since he was a sophomore and he was in spot duty for Danny Stutzman. Kip Lewis, to me, when I watch him out there, it always just feels to me like he's the best player on the field. He plays so fast, so physically, and then Samuel Masigo led the team in tackles, and he's learning to play inside, looked pretty comfortable there. So that defense, regardless of who was coming through, was fun to watch. I am curious, what did you think of Cortland Guillory, just the second true freshman to start at corner for the Sooners ever, and Illinois State was attacking him all game. What did you think of what he did?
No, I thought he was great. They recognized that he was a freshman. They put Sopkowitz over him, their best wide receiver, and he got one pass interference call on him that was questionable. But other than that, he held up really well. I love his size. He plays with an attitude, even though he's a true freshman. He was great. This is going to be a fascinating week for them because going forward, you know what Michigan wants to do. Michigan football, Big Ten football, they want to line it up and pound it, right? They want to be physical and run it down your throats. And they have certainly read the clippings about how good the Oklahoma line is and front seven. And we will have a fascinating matchup Saturday night when Michigan tries to run the football on Oklahoma. I don't think, even though Bryce Underwood is talented and big and has a good arm and all that kind of stuff, I don't think Michigan wants to put the game necessarily in his hands. So this game, I think, will be decided by whether or not Michigan can effectively run the ball on that Oklahoma front seven. Illinois State had some success at times against them running the ball. I was with Brent Venables today for his coach's show, and he was not very happy about a couple of instances where they got creased for, a 22, 23-yard run. It didn't end up hurting them in this game, but that's got to get fixed before next week. Otherwise, Michigan may just take the ball and not give it back to you.
When Michigan's at their best, it's an avalanche, Toby. They don't break one off, and then they break one off, then they're going to break another and keep going. We saw the depth in week one, then we liked it. We're going to really find out about the depth of that defensive line, because it can't just be Jaden Jackson for 80 snaps of defense. They're going to need every single nose tackle, defensive end, and linebacker to be in there, because it is going to be exhausting playing with those big boys in the Big Ten. Oh man, I'm getting excited for this one. I love when it's decided in the trenches like this.
Anybody else on defense catch your eye Saturday night?
Kendall Daniels, I think, is a guy that you can't help but watch. And there were a couple plays where he was a little hesitant on the edge and gave up the edge. Can Kendall Daniels play a little faster and a little more physical at the point of attack? That was something I was watching in fall camp, keeping an eye out for, and now it's something in the season. Because if they can get that out of him, we've talked about freak athlete, great instincts, great athleticism. Now we need to see it then. And then Peyton Bowen, a guy that we haven't talked a ton about, even though we knew he was going to be a solid part of this defense. He looked good. He looked healthy. He wasn't healthy last season, so it was good to see Peyton Bowen out there and comfortable out there.
I thought David Stone showed up more than we saw last year in his freshman year. The sack that Taylor Wine got was really caused by David Stone. He split a double team and forced the quarterback out of the pocket and really right into the arms of Wine. I know I said David Stone's name on the broadcast more than I usually do. Mm-hmm. And then Reggie Powers, the stick of dynamite, the human grenade, he almost sawed a guy in half, and every time he's on the field, it looks like he's getting ready to break somebody. So he's a lot of fun to watch. 13 flies around out there. Okay, one other thing to point out, I think, is special teams. Tate Sandell never had a field goal try, made all his extra points. Only a couple of punts in the game. But Isaiah Satania looked good as a punt returner. He was getting some line drives that are returnable, but you could see his quickness. He seems to have good instincts. Almost broke a long one, but it got called back on a block in the back by Danny Okoye. Poor Danny Okoye, by the way. When he came to the sidelines after that block in the back, I think every coach on the roster got a piece of it because it was completely unnecessary, and it brought back about a 50, 60-yard punt return. But I think Satania might be a weapon for them in the punt return game.
I loved it because the whole stadium could feel it. Every time the ball was coming to him, it was like a collective, it was so fun. And I think that's going to be all season long. You never know when he's going to pop one. You can't rest during punts. I think you're going to... He's an exciting one.
Okay, so we're going to talk Michigan more as the week goes along, but quickly, just in a couple of minutes here, what are you most looking forward to in this game?
I'm most looking forward to the storyline you mentioned earlier with Bryce Underwood for Michigan. Venables loves picking on young quarterbacks. What is he going to do to just confuse Underwood and make him uncomfortable all game long? That's what I'm looking forward to. How about you?
I think you've hit it. I think that Michigan knows that. Mm-hmm. They know that a Brent Venables defense is very hard to decipher for an experienced quarterback. Garrett Nussmeier talked about that at SEC Media Days when we were in Atlanta about how confusing it is to try to figure out what Oklahoma is doing defensively. I think Michigan is going to say, listen, we're not going to ask Bryce Underwood to try to figure out what he's seeing. If we're going to win this game, we got to do it with our running game. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they get behind and they have to come out of that playbook, and it forces Underwood to try to make some plays through the air. We shall see. It just feels like a good old-fashioned slobber knocker to me. On one side, you got John Mateer, and he's got some flash and glitz to him. And Oklahoma, at least through 1 week, looks like they're a team that wants to throw the ball around the yard again, you know. And on the other side, you got Michigan that's 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and they're coming down with those cool helmets. And I just can't wait. The lights are going to be on at the Palace. You're going to have two of the great, maybe the 2 best uniforms in all of college football.
Yep.
First time they've ever played in Norman. It's going to be fun.
And Toby, Deion Burks played in Michigan in high school. He said he didn't get recruited by the Wolverines. He said that they take pride in the good players in Michigan stay in Michigan. And he said, so I guess they don't think I'm a good player.
Wow.
That doesn't give you chills. I don't know. Oh,
It'll be
man.
fun. All right, look for this every week. On Monday, we'll have a reaction to the Oklahoma game. So that means next Monday, we'll have our reaction to Oklahoma and Michigan. Coming up midweek, we will have a little preview for you of what's coming up with the Wolverines. I'll be chatting with their play-by-play voice later on. Keep it locked in here as we'll have the best coverage for you all week on News 9, News on 6, YouTube. We got it all covered. For Chris, I'm Toby. See y'all later.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma Zone digital studio stream. Stay with News 9, online and on television anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.